Let's just rock the jizzo, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me. Hey, Steph, how you doing? 74 degrees. I'm just kicking it down here. Hilton Head. Just got here about an hour ago. Went into Barnes & Noble. This is like a small Barnes & Noble, though. I got something to eat next door. Gonna be a good sunrise in the morning. How'd your celebration go? Hey, Mark. Good. Did you tank? Did you tie one on? Hey, Sandy. Oh, good. Yeah, that's good. Oh, good. Well, I'll tell you down here. Do you have problems driving at night, Stephanie? I think my comments are getting stuck again. Hey, Kelly. How you doing? Down here eating some goldfish. Oh, it's nice, 74 degrees. Going to be a beautiful sunrise in the morning. Getting a good Jewish deli breakfast, too. Yeah, I'm in front of the Barnes & Noble here. I'm going to head over the house, only about 2 miles from here. There's nothing to do down here at night. I mean, there's probably bars somewhere, but I never do that anyway. So it's so damn dark down around here, like in a cloudy night. Half-deads and newlyweds. Oh, I bet she is. She sure is. She lets it rip. I might go down the beach. You can't really see anything when it's this dark, though. It's weird down here for a place on the ocean. It's just not like other places where you go down there, there's a pier, places on the beach. This is like, yeah, it is. This is like everybody goes to bed at 8. Hey, Drifter. Yeah, they're good, aren't they? I don't like the super blast or the colored ones either. Oh, you better believe it. As soon as I get them watching the sunrise. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, those are good. That's the best snack there is. Uh, where I'm staying at Marty's house, it's about 300 yards. You walk down this easement and you're right. It's a private beach, so you have to live in the neighborhood to go there. That's why there's never anybody out there. It takes about 5 minutes. The water's not that great down here. It's kind of murky, never any big waves. It's not like, beautiful crystal clear blue water in Florida. Now, if you go down further southeast, it gets clear, but it's still not like Florida water. The water in Florida doesn't get really, that nice blue, see 50 feet to the bottom. That doesn't start happening until about Cocoa Beach. No, she doesn't like the beach. There's these thing they call them sand spurs, and she doesn't like the heat. She wouldn't care if she ever went to the beach again. There's a bunch of dogs running around there in the morning, but she doesn't like it. I've even carried her down. She still doesn't like it. I left her home because I'm going back tomorrow. Yeah, that carton's hard to seal that thing up, though, unless you get a good clip. They're not half as good if they're stale. Hey, Hank. Yeah, I watch what I eat, though, believe me. And I haven't had a drink since, like, the end of April. I got another appointment Monday. It's a lot better, but part of that is because I eat, like, baby food. That stuff I got earlier tonight is, like, super expensive. But it's so damn dark down here. It's unbelievable. I'm not shitting you, man. They're really into the, like, no light pollution, which I'm fine with until I'm not from here and I'm trying to find a place. I swear to God, you need fucking radar to go to somewhere if you're not familiar with it. It is hard to see down here. So I just ate there because I didn't want to, like, try and navigate to where I knew there was a sushi restaurant. I mean, it's weird here. It's like you turn off this main drag 278 and it's like you're out in the middle of, like, nowhere. Super dark, rainy, black roads. Yeah, energy drinks are back. I'm not really sure. But I stay away from fatty foods, alcohol, carbonated drinks. What else? Fried foods. Hey Karen, how you doing? Take that PPI, proton pump inhibitor. You got to take it an hour before you drink or eat anything. But I don't. I'm just laying low with it. I did lose 28 pounds in a year. I didn't really want to eat at that place tonight. I just didn't want to fuck around running over curbs trying to find a place. These glasses should have been replaced about 5 years ago. I mean, you need to be a damn raccoon to navigate down here at night. Unless you're on the main drag like I am here, 278. You know, because you got a lot of clues. Cars behind you, cars in front of you, businesses on both sides. Boulder, Colorado is the same way. They're not into signs. You better have your GPS on. You're not seeing a sign and then pulling over. Oh, cool. Hey, LA. Yeah, I can't fall asleep if I'm hungry. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yeah, well, the weight loss had nothing to do with discipline. It was just simply being afraid to eat certain stuff. I'd still be fat if I didn't have a stomach problem, so there is kind of a silver lining. And I don't have GERD or any of that shit. I don't have heartburn. It's weird. Hey, just chilling. I don't mind the roundabouts. It's just darker than a bitch down here. You know, the cell phone camera makes everything look a lot lighter than it really is. Now here I'm home free. I'm only 2.5 miles from the house. And 2 miles of that is, in a gated community. So, and it's easy to see. Hey, waiting. Yeah, I eat sometimes after I brush my teeth. I've talked to dentists about that. They say it's no big deal. Because your teeth don't know, as long as they're brushed in like a 24-hour cycle, it doesn't matter if you brushed them at 8, you didn't brush them again till you went at bed at night, or you brushed them at night and then went to bed, because, you're going to brush them again when you get up in the morning, and that's less time than you usually go between getting up in the morning and going to bed. It's not that big a deal. No, that's not quite right. No, once that gets aggravated and irritated, it can take a year sometimes to get that to repair itself. And some people never get over it. They call it idiopathic gastritis. Like, I can always feel something. It's not right. But it's better. I don't like watching TV either. See, I hit about 4 inches of water out in the middle of this. This is low country. The ground slopes all the way through the whole state of South Carolina and ends up making it to the ocean around here and other places. But I hit about a 4-inch deep thing of water going all the way across the road. They got a lot of rain here last night. And I'm glad I wasn't doing 70 miles an hour at night. So, and another thing, about 75% of this drive here, if you ever look on a map from Augusta to Hilton Head, or from Crawfordville to Hilton Head, it's all back roads, little towns, darker than shit. It's deer hunting season now. You don't see anything, and I like looking around and stuff like that. So if I was going someplace where it was all expressway, no problem. I'd drive all night long. But when it's dark and stuff, and it doesn't make any sense for me to drive when I like can't see. But I did want to get here before it was dark, which I've accomplished. But you kind of shoot yourself in the foot. I got something to eat. I went into this Barnes and Noble. I don't like watching TV, and I'm not going to be ready to go to sleep for a while, so it's kind of fucked up. Now, if tomorrow wasn't forecast to be such a beautiful morning, what I would have done is just come tomorrow and just got here and turned right around and went back. But since the weather forecast changed and tomorrow will be nice, I'll get the sunrise, get a nice breakfast, get a good ass kicker coffee, come back, fuck around, take off around 10. And I take different ways every time. Yeah. But it's a nice, beautiful night. I like this kind of weather. I might go down and walk down the beach. But, you know, they're real huge, like, environmentalists right here. Like, say right now, there's alligators here in the daytime. I mean, it wouldn't be unusual to see one right here in this Barnes & Noble sitting in these weeds. No shit. No, maybe not, but close by here, I can tell you that. With these drainage canals and all sorts of shit. They're all over around here. And they will write you a $500 ticket, no problem, if they see you harassing them or getting too close. Yeah, seriously. But it's nothing really to be worried about. You know what I mean? It's not like... Although people do get eaten down here. So do their pets. You can look it up. South Carolina pet eaten by alligator. One lady and her dog both got eaten. They were not far from here. But it's very rare. It's kind of like swimming in the ocean and getting bit by a shark. It happens. But if you look at the stats, not that often. But I see them. I see them around. See, the problem right now is, like everywhere else, it's unseasonably warm. So when it's like this, 74 this late in November, they're not looking for warmth the first thing in the morning when the sun comes up. Now, when you get those cold nights, 30, 36, they can't wait to get out and lay on the golf course, stuff like that. But since it's not that cold, they don't want to get that warm that soon. So there are not as many as there would have been, let's say, if the temperatures were normal. Yeah, that's what I do, yep. My food was good at that place. That's like one of those like upper end Hilton places. Everybody well dressed. I mean, there were women sitting next to me, like older women. You know, they probably had like $600 outfits on, nice clothes, and I could hear them talking. They're well spoken. It's like a nice place. They probably thought I took care of the dress code when I showed up. Good night, Ellie. But it really wasn't my type place. But the food was excellent. Little portions, quality stuff, nothing frozen. Although for as much as that shit cost, I've had better wedge salads at, honky-tonk restaurants. But the tuna dish was really good. I've really cut down my eating, so I would have went to the Brazilian steakhouse tonight, and had a 7,500 calorie dinner, but I just kind of quit doing that. I just got a tea at this Barnes & Noble. So I'll go back, fuck around, maybe go up by the pool. But it's worth it to me because I like the sunrises. And now, later in the year, I'll bet the sun doesn't come up till 7:45 in the morning. And the more I do, like I don't want to be bullshitting around there. It's really not that great until the sun actually breaks the horizon. Unless you got unusual clouds near the horizon, like where the water meets the sky. And then like a half hour early is perfect. So we'll see what tomorrow offers. And then once the sun breaks the horizon, 5 minutes later, it's just the good shots are over, at least with video. Now I can stop it down with cameras like I did last time. People thought it was the sun. People thought it was the moon. It was the sun. But I could do it with video if I wanted, but I just don't. I'd just be kicking it. Yeah, no, there's a few YouTube videos like that. The platter for 2 for 1 at the steakhouse. No, like I don't know if you've been to a Brazilian steakhouse, but they have this like 50-foot long just ass kicker salad bar. And then these gauchos bring this Brazilian styled meat around. No, it's like $65 for dinner, I think. I give those Brazilians credit because they're all cheap cuts of meat. But the way that they like do it on a rotisserie and season it and marinate it, it's good. It's good. I just don't want to eat that much. But that is just like all you can eat. I've never seen a platter for 2 at a steakhouse. Yeah, that house was actually an Architectural Digest a long time ago, like the 60s. That's an older house. Yeah, it reminds me of like a James Bond house. The pool comes right up to where you sit in the kitchen, like right out on the other side of the glass. It's kind of cool. I don't know if you remember that when I take those videos when I walk down the easement, there was a house on the right across from Todd, the guy with the big glass house. And they just paid 1.8 million for a half-acre lot and tore the house down. You believe that shit? But Todd told me the house needed a ton of stuff. Yeah, right. That's how they have it, Drifter. Yep. That's how it is here. Yeah, they have like a killer salad bar. Yeah, when I was drinking Dragon's Milk, I really like sitting back by that pool. But now that I'm not drinking, I mean, there's certain things I used to like to do that I don't like to do anymore. Because you're sober and it's boring. I run into these women down here all the time. I'll run into them tomorrow on the beach. They have had every single surgical procedure and Botox and skin peel you can think of. I mean, this place is just loaded with salons. Yeah, it's weird. Most of them went out of business in Chicago. When I first opened that bed and breakfast, they opened one in Wellington, which is kind of an upper echelon. Bill Gates has a place over there. It's for dressage, equestrian horse jumping and all that shit. And they stayed at the bed and breakfast for like a month. And it was a guy and a girl, and they were like opening it for this like investment group. And they tried to come down after they had checked out about a week later, and it was filled. And they stayed at a local hotel on the west side of West Palm Beach. He shot her between the eyes and killed himself. No. Nope. That's good wine, by the way. Yeah, Brazilian steakhouses are good, but I mean, you overeat. But it's fun. The salad bar is unbelievable. But when I go to a Brazilian steakhouse, I'm not too interested in eating salad. But it's nice just sitting out here, 74. You never see cops down here. It's weird. I shouldn't say never, but hardly ever. For the first time I saw a cop had somebody pulled over last time I was here. No, I mean, I didn't because we didn't know anybody to talk to. We didn't know, they just came and we just knew them and there was no other connections. Glad they didn't do it in the bed and breakfast, though. Who knows? When I was down doing surveillance down around Elkhart, we could look this up too. It was an ophthalmologist, an eye doctor, and his wife. And I didn't know him, but I was down there all the time, so I'd read the papers when I was down there. And they were really big into this ballroom dancing. Travel all over. And anyway, long story short, they got charged with some kind of fraud. And a lot of times when that happens, until it's adjudicated, whether you're found guilty or not, hospitals will suspend your privileges pending the outcome of your trial. And it kept getting delayed, so they were like, looking at it, and they had an office staff, lived a nice life, so they were looking at like a year by the time his privileges were suspended and when this was going to be adjudicated. So they paid it was something crazy, like $3,400 for a half-page ad in the paper explaining their dilemma. And he shot her between the eyes and killed himself. But it was all planned out. And they said that their life had just went to shit. And they knew that even if he was acquitted, by that time, the damage was done. And it just wasn't worth waiting for a whole year. It's like huge, shocking news down there. Because they were a well-liked couple. Yeah. You look it up. Ophthalmologist, murder-suicide. It was down around Elkhart, Indiana. There was a Red Roof Inn. I used to stay down there one time. Because I always had little dogs with me. And so I'm staying at this Red Roof Inn right now. And I'm staying on the second floor. And I can hear like police radios. It wakes me up. I look out and you can see a sheriff's department. And he's pounding on the door in the room below me. And what happened is there was a guy in there with a drug-addicted prostitute. And she went out the room to do something. And one of the damn people in the rooms downstairs called and said, hey, this is really weird. Well, she's probably fucked on my dope. Maybe could have tried their door. She was on dope or something, tried their door. So that's how the cops got there. So the cops go to the manager and they want to look at the register who's in there. As it turns out, it was a local pharmacist who I think was the mayor pro tem. And he's in there with this hooker. And the cops said, if you don't come out, we're going to bust down the door. And what they ended up doing was taking they had some tool there where they kind of like could take the pins out, which doesn't make sense from the outside. And they went in there and got him. And he had all sorts of prescription drugs that weren't filled that he had just stolen to supply this, hooker with. And I kept up with that too. And he basically had to resign. And he was charged for distribution of drugs and just totally ruined his life. Yeah, crazy. We just never know what's going through people's mind. Just nuts. See my silver pickup over there? Yeah, crazy. I was in a Red Roof Inn another time, and the guys robbed a bank and were staying next to me. They called my room, told me to get out of there. They were bringing in a SWAT team. Red Roof Inn, leave the light on for me. Yeah, weird. More questions than answers. Plus, I was breeding birds in Florida for about 5 years. I didn't know them, but I knew people that knew them because we all used the same vet. Once in a while I get their mail. I had a PO box. The same feed guy. Look at that, Moses, Law, and Delilah Bertrand, Loxahatchee, Florida, bird breeders. They never did find their dead bodies. I actually, I think if you read, it's interesting. It was on Unsolved Mysteries. It was on a couple of those crime shows. And the Palm Beach County Sheriff's got a hold of me because I knew I was a PI. And they actually had me go down to Miami to look for these expensive birds to see if they were at a place where they got a tip. And I went down there and acted like I was going to buy them, and I didn't see them. Yeah, Moses Lall, Lall, and Delilah Bertrand, who was his aunt. I know the guy that, jumped over the fence and, a third of the birds were dead because they hadn't used the food from the prior week's delivery. It's so damn hot down there that, birds run out of food and water in Florida in the summer, and they die pretty easily, get dehydrated. But it's an interesting story. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. The mother tried to hire me, but I was just too busy at the time, and I didn't want to do it. They were from Guyana. But if you type in Moses Lall, Lall, and Delilah Bertrand, I think her name was, Loxahatchee, Florida bird breeders murdered. Yeah. Yeah, they were from Guyana, yep. But like I said, I never met them. They only lived like 4 miles away, but... No, I didn't. I hardly did any work for the public. I marketed the work that I wanted. There's no money in working for husbands and wives. Back then, I did maybe 20 things like that. But they're always calling you. They drive you nuts. They think $1,000 a day is like, you better catch them fucking for an hour. You ripped them off. It's just a bad group of people to deal with because they just don't understand. People can have active affairs, and they may screw once every 90 days. So the likelihood of me getting lucky enough, and they want stuff like, why didn't I have a camera in the room? Yeah, okay. I mean, when they went into the room, I did get video and stuff, but what do you think they're in there, playing checkers? No, so I didn't. I only didn't get paid by places maybe 5 times in 30 years. Yeah, I think that Cheaters was a lot of made-up bullshit. I think some of them were legit, but I think a lot of them were just like Storage Wars and any of that other crap set up. Same with the crab fishermen. They're faking all these fights and stuff. Yeah, it's stupid. Most of the time, I try to talk people out of hiring me because I didn't really want to do it. And I knew that the likelihood of getting what they thought you get was not good. So I'd try and tell them how to do things on their own. Yeah, exactly right. Although I knew the girl that worked for Jenny Jones, and they shared the same studio with Jerry Springer, and they had professional hecklers in the room before you went on stage to get you pissed off. Same with Jenny Jones. They'd go in there and they'd come up to me. It's like, hey, Tom, we appreciate you coming to the show. Before you go out there, we did some additional background. Your wife was getting gang banged while you were planning your Florida cruise to the Caribbean. And she was telling her girlfriends that if you'd have been more of a man, she wouldn't have done it. And you're just like, what? That's why you noticed on those shows, when you came out of the back, you already start fighting and nobody even said a word yet. They created that. No shit. Yeah, not kidding you. Crazy. Well, I'm going to sign off, you guys. Head over to the house. I may come on later. So you guys have a good night tonight. You party. Kick it. Good night, Kelly. Bye, Steph. See you, Mark. See you, Drifter. Waiting. Party on.